Did everything just change in the crypto market? Did we get the rebound that we've been talking about? And is big money finally heading into this market? In this video, we're going to be breaking down who is getting involved in the market and, more importantly, how much big capital is flowing in, well, and buying the dip that retail sold. This video is going to show you exactly what's going on in the market and position you to absolutely maximize your returns this bull market cycle. And yes, the bull market is very much still intact. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. So on the back of a good day in the markets, when we got new PCE data hitting that forecast at 2.9%, on the back of that GDP revisions, everything seems to be going in the right direction. Yes, we got the big liquidation event, but this data does suggest the economy in the US is growing. Now, we will have the ISM data coming out in the next couple of weeks, but in the short term, this ultimately allows the Fed to continue focusing on the labor market. And if you continue to focus on the labor market, the reality is you will continue to cut rates. Expectations now is we could even see a 1% reduction in the interest rates for the US. But that's not all. We actually have seen some pretty interesting stuff going on with big money. In fact, we actually saw the founder of the Tiger 21 company talking about Bitcoin.
So Bitcoin as a market is still only a tenth the size of gold, but they both are secure assets in members' mind. For the first time, people aren't talking about Bitcoin just as speculation, but actually an alternative asset that can be held during tough times.
So to give you some context as to exactly what Tiger 21 is all about, it is a collective intelligence for ultra high net worth wealth preservation. Basically, everyone with a absolute ton of cash looks after Tiger 21. They use this as a way of basically investing and, more importantly, to be a part of a members club. Just to give you an exact idea of what this looks like, well, the reality is you need to have strong character. You need to make a significant contribution, the capacity to commit their time to monthly meetings, and no solicitation, again, participation and transparency. And you also need to have at least $20 million in capital to get into this. And that is where the buck stops. They just looked at they're now buying Bitcoin. That's pretty interesting. Along with Vanguard allegedly now looking to maybe take on third-party crypto ETFs. Now, if you remember, why is Vanguard important? Well, they've always come out and said, we will never get into the crypto market. Well, guess what? That has now all changed. They're going to be looking at large caps such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. We are waiting to get that official announcement out of Salim Ramji, the CEO of Vanguard. But this unlocks a absolute juggernaut of capital that could get into the market. At the same time as Vanguard's getting in, IBIT and the Blackrock ETFs will not be outdone. They actually increased their Bitcoin exposure by 38% to now $17.1 billion. This is on their global allocation fund as of September's SEC filing. Now, this is actually an increase from 723,000 shares to well over 1 million shares that they have. Why are they doing this? Well, fundamentally, they know what's coming. They want to make sure they are packed and their bags are locked in. And, well, they're prepared to buy their own stock to make sure they are absolutely dealing with that. And remember, we've actually seen inflows into those ETFs over the course of the last 3 or 4 days. BlackRock specifically continue to buy the dip. And this is before we even head into Q4 and October, which obviously everyone, including Eric Trump, is predicting is going to be huge for Bitcoin.
And the future is incredible. The future is bright. The future is incredible. And I think fourth quarter of this year is going to be unbelievable for a host of reasons. So super excited.
How do you think Bitcoin's going to go?
I've always said that I think in time Bitcoin surpasses $1 million. I think with quantitative easing that we're going to have starting tomorrow when the announcement's made, and all signs point in the right direction, unless this guy's really off his rocker, but then he's going to just get laughed out of this country. But I think starting tomorrow you're going to see right drops. You see what's happening with M2, which is the money supply around the world, which is skyrocketing right now. Fourth quarter has always historically been the best quarter, or generally the best quarter for cryptocurrencies.
And as we've said, October, as it's now called, well, generally speaking, is one of the best months for the Bitcoin returns. September, as we now exit, one of the worst, aggregated over a number of years. It definitely isn't one to think about, but Q4, again, is very strong for us. September, though, like we said, playing out, well, like every other September does. We generally see historically that September is a bearish month before we then skyrocket into October. And like we said, it is playing out exactly. The only difference is this current September is still actually green. And the question there is, well, why? We are seeing huge amounts, including this whale buying over 2,261 Bitcoin, about $247 million. And this is again while we see the dip. So many people that have been calling the market cycle bottom, the reality is that, well, I think we've got more to go. And again, I've been talking to you guys about that over the course of the last few days. So the reality here is we've got massive amounts of capital about to flow into this market. Everyone is bearish right now and for no reason whatsoever. And we're here the weekend. What does the weekend bring? Well, I think we'll see a little bit of upside moves as people predict next week's data that's going to be suggested. And as we move forward towards October, I think we could definitely see some big moves. Watch out. I think the first few days of October could be pretty volatile, as I think everyone's going to expect this giant move. And you know what market makers do? They like to dump the markets. And then I think we'll see a skyrocket. So let me know what you think in the comments down below of all of this. But certainly is playing out exactly as we've been talking about. And certainly, I think there's way more in this market to come. Think about it. Vanguar, Blackrock, $1 million in the next few years from Eric Trump. And obviously, many people under that 21... and many people, obviously, under the 21 Tiger company are buying Bitcoin. Are you? Let me know, as always, in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe button if you want to become a channel member. Link in the description. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.